Presenting you Meditainment. Experience the joy of learning medicine. Isn't it wonderful to know that our body has its own defense system to fight against all the microvillains entering our body? Yes, immunity is nothing but protection from infectious pathogens. The mechanism of defense falls into two broad categories, the innate immunity and the acquired immunity. Just like a nation gearing up its army when an enemy crosses the border, as soon as the enemy particle enters the body, this first line of defense starts alarming. Yes, today we're going to talk about the innate immunity. This natural and native force of our body is ready to react even before the enemy enters. Now let's move on to the members of the army. So, the first member of the army are the epithelial barriers. So these epithelial barriers, they act as barricades in preventing the enemy. They are the mechanical barriers to the entry of microbes. These epithelial cells produce antimicrobial molecules such as defensins and lymphocytes. Once this epithelial barrier gets breached, the other mechanisms come to play. So the next member of the family are the NK cells. These NK cells, otherwise called the natural killer cells, they destroy irreversibly stressed and abnormal cells like virus-infected and tumor cells by a process called antibody-dependent cell cytotoxicity. So they act as an early line of defense against viral infections and some tumors. So we'll be learning about this in detail in the further classes. And the next comes the phagocytes. So the monocytes and the neutrophils, or the phagocytes in the blood, they can rapidly be recruited to any site of infection and kill microbes. The monocytes that enter tissue and mature are called macrophages. Next, we have our dendritic cells. So, he is not a key participant in the destruction, indirectly helps the body's army. He has certain receptors to detect microbes and cell damage. Once damage is detected, he releases cytokines and mediators. And finally, we have our complements. So these are the soluble proteins present in the blood, and they are plasma proteins activated by microbes using alternative and lectin pathways. We may be wondering how come all these members of the army are able to detect these microbes so easily. For this purpose, they have certain sensors called the receptors. So there are nearly 6 types of receptors which are present in different sites in the cell and helps in the recognition of the microbes. So the receptors are toll-like receptors, nod-like receptors, C-type lectin receptors, Rig-like receptors, G-protein coupled receptors, and the mannose receptor. Here is the description of all the 6 types of receptors, their location and what they can identify. So as mentioned, the toll-like receptors, the C-type lectin receptors, and the G-protein coupled receptors and the mannose receptor, they are present in the plasma membrane of the cell, whereas the nod-like receptor and the Rig-like receptors, they are present in the cytosol. So each receptor can identify different particles. The C-type lectin receptors, they detect the fungal glycans, whereas the Rig-like receptors, they detect the nucleic acid of viruses. The G-protein coupled receptors, they detect short bacterial peptides, and the mannose receptors, they detect microbial sugars. So now let's look into detail about the toll-like receptors and the nod-like receptors. So first, let's look into the toll-like receptors. So the toll-like receptors are evolutionarily conserved receptors. A small number of toll-like receptors can detect a broad range of pathogens and products of tissue damage by a process called pattern recognition. So what is this pattern recognition? Certain microbial pathogens, they express special patterns like the pathogen-associated microbial patterns, whereas the necroting or dying cells, they express the danger-associated molecular patterns. So these TLRs, that is the toll-like receptors, recognize highly conserved structural motifs like the PAMs and the DAMs, which are exclusively expressed by the microbial pathogens and the endogenous molecules released from the necroting or dying cells. So The patterns are now recognized by the toll-like receptors. So stimulation of the toll-like receptors by the corresponding PAMs or DAMs initiates signaling cascades leading to the activation of transcription factors. So there are two transcription factors, the NF-kappa B and the interferon regulatory factors. So the NF-kappa B, it stimulates the synthesis of cytokines and expression of adhesion molecules, whereas the interferon regulatory factors, they stimulate production of antiviral cytokines like the type 1 interferon. Next, moving on to the NOD-like receptors. So the NOD-like receptors are the cytosolic receptors. Several of the NOD-like receptors signal via a cytosolic multiprotein complex called the inflammasome. So what is an inflammasome? Inflammasome is a protein complex that recognizes products of dead cells and some microbes and induces the secretion of the biologically active interleukin-1. So this inflammasome, it consists of an adapter and a sensor protein called the NLRP3 and the enzyme caspase-1. So this enzyme caspase-1, it converts the pro-interleukin-1 beta to interleukin-1 beta. It converts the inactive form of interleukin to the active form. So now this active form, it gets ready for inflammation. This can be understood by looking into these two disorders. So why do you think we get inflammation in gout and type 2 diabetes? Yes, the reason is our very own innate immunity. In case of gout, the urate crystals are identified by the NOD-like receptors and the previously explained process goes on and the inflammasome is being formed and finally the active form of interleukin-1 beta is released and this leads to inflammation. Similarly, in type 2 diabetes, lipids are identified by the NOD-like receptors and the interleukin-1 beta is released and leads to inflammation. As for now, we know the members of the army and how they are able to recognize the microbes. So the left out part is the destruction. The innate immune system provides host defense by two main reactions, inflammation and antiviral defense. So for inflammation, it is being processed by the cytokines and the products of the complement activation along with the mediators which are being produced during the innate immune reactions. And the antiviral defense. So antiviral defense is being processed by the type 1 interferons produced in response to the viruses. In addition to these defensive functions, the innate immunity provides the danger signals and stimulates the more powerful force called the adaptive immunity. Innate immunity, unlike adaptive immunity, does not have memory or fine antigen specificity. Hence, the adaptive immunity is considered more powerful than innate immunity.